And it's a very good morning to the Gelding on an overcast day, Gelding, but hopefully the rain will stay away.
Yeah, good morning, Professor. Good morning, listeners. Yeah, a bit overcast, a bit of rain around here, around near the Caulfield racetrack, even though we're racing at Flemington today. Professor, as you said, a bit overcast. So, look, we've had a bit of rain during the week, but if any track can handle it, it'll be Flemington, Professor.
And we salvaged a little bit out of last weekend, Gelding. A terrible day on Saturday, but Monday was kind to us.
Monday was kind to us, Professor, and Sunday was even better for us. If I had been listening to
should have been
Sports
listening.
Fans Radio.
Yes,
so
yes, three very good tips, Gelding.
Yeah, 3 from 3 on. We apologise for the listeners. Last Saturday was a bloody blowout day, and then Sunday we got 3 out of 3, and quite a good day Monday too, Professor, to the GM Racing bank account.
Yeah, we're back in town, Gelding. Flemington, You're right. Flemington today, 9 races, a soft 7. Geez, will it be a soft 7 after 5 races, Gelding?
Oh, Professor, let's see how chopped up it gets. Normally, look, Flemington drains extremely well, but there has been a lot of rain. Look, if it's a soft 6, a soft 7, a lot better, of course, than if it's a heavy. So I don't, hopefully without any rain. But as you said, the tips are later in the day, and you've got to worry about whether parts of the track will chop up and whether you might be better being out in the middle of the track or out a little bit wider. So, look, it's the best track in the world, Professor. Probably apart from the only other one we challenge it has been Royal Ascot, where I've had a few late nights. The old eyes are getting up looking at Royal Ascot during the week, Professor. But, yeah, let's hope it dries well.
Well, you talk about out in the middle of the track, Gelding. Most of the runners will be out in the middle of the track. The rail's out 11 metres today.
Yeah, it's out of fair way, Professor. But it's an awfully wide track, Flemington. But as you said, the inside of it may get chopped up. So whether, they're out in the middle of where the track is today, Professor. Well, probably just off them and hopefully on pace and wide. But, yeah, let's hope, Professor.
Gelding, that rail's out so wide. Some of the runners will be able, some of the jockeys on those runners will be able to trim the roses as they come down the home straight.
Oh, don't worry, Professor. There'll be some of the brainless ones will probably ride in Ascot Vale.
All right, an early start, 11:45 a.m. again, Gelding. You've got to be on your mettle here. I missed the first last week because I was took a little bit longer than usual to come back from doing some shopping down the street.
Yeah, yes. The winter timetable, Professor. The early starts compared to the summer starts around about the 1 o'clock. So, we're only going to get, as we come into June and July, the nice early starts because of the fading light during the day.
All right, Gelding, what are your 2 red hot tips for today's meeting?
Look, Professor, as discussed before, a hard winter's meeting, but look, I think Jamie Carr's been off the boil the last couple of weeks, but I think she might be in for a very, very good day today, Professor. Had a look at a ride in the first race for Peter Moody, but a couple of unknowns with the Blue Army having a first starter. So I've gone my first bet, Professor, in race 5. Jamie Carr on number 9, Caribou. This is trained by Mick Price, Mick Kent Jr. 4 starts for 4 wins, Professor. So you can do no better than that. It had 2 starts, then they put it out for the spell. It's come back. It's 1-2 at Sandown on soft tracks. One was on a soft track, one was on a good track. Jamie Carr's ridden it in both starts. Steps up from a benchmark 70 into a benchmark 90, Professor. So that is a big leap, but I think Mick Price is a pretty good judge when it comes to placing horses. And this may be one of his up and comers, Professor. It's a bit short at $1.80, but I think it might before it starts at 2:00. It may drift out a bit, so hopefully we can get the black odds. But I think it may be a good way for us to start the day, Professor. Race 5, number 9, Carabui.
All right, Gelding, and your second tip?
Well, this is the interesting one for me, Professor. I'm going to wait for the last. Race 9, number 1, Red Can Man, trained by David Brydock and ridden by Jamie Carr. I took $4.60 this morning, Professor, on it. I think it might be well bet. I'm jumping off Montessera that we've been on, only because this Red Can Man has come over from Western Australia, Professor, and this horse has Group 1 form. Was in the Railway and the Rupert Lee, the Group 1 over there, and it's finished 4th and 6th in Group 1 races, Professor. Only got 58 kilos. Racing against some good horses here, Professor, but, are they really Group 1 performed horses? Where I think we can say this one might be up to it. Red Can Man, so that'll do me, Professor. The worry, I suppose, is for the listeners is just see how the track is. It's drawn out in barrier 10, so if it's chopped up, that's fine. It should be coming down the outside, down the straight. But if it rains during the day, Professor, because it's got no form on soft or wet track, so that's my only worry with it, Professor.
All right, Gelding, just checking the TAB, there's been some scratching. So Red Can Man starting from barrier 7 at present.
Okay. So it's still in a field of only, 10, Professor?
Yep.
Should be okay.
All right, Gelding.
What do you like, Professor?
All right. Well, race 6, the Sir Henry Bolte handicap, a famous Victorian premier of the state for many, many years. It's a 3-year-old race over 2,000 metres. I'm keeping the Jamie Carr fan club going. Horse 6, Marcolt.
Very good, Professor.
Now it's got 1 win and 3 placings from 7 starts, a win rate of 14%, placing rate of 57%. Jamie Carr's form's come off in recent weeks. She's only riding at 18% over her last 50 rides. Trained by Patrick Payne out of Ballarat. So I think the reasoning is that Marcolt ran against the top weight, Namakwa, in the first week of June. Marcolt got beaten by 2 lengths, but meets at 4 kilograms better off in weights. Not only that, Namakwa's best form's been on good tracks. So it's a query about how it'll take to a soft 7 with the track cut up. So I think Marcolt at $4.50 and $1.80 fixed at the moment's good odds.
Oh, a good bet, Professor. Jamie Carr riding for Patrick Payne. I haven't seen that too often. So she hops on board. She still has this magnificent record. And when she hops onto a horse the first time, they seem to win, Professor. So let's hope that little watch keeps going on with this colt, Marcolt. I've got to admit, I was impressed with the win last start of the toppy.
Namakwa.
Now Makara. So, yeah, but as you said, 4 kg, better odds each way, improved jockey. A lot of good reasons there, Professor, for it to say it can win.
All right, Gelding, and my second tip is in race 7, the AR Creswick Stakes, a 3-year-old over 1,200 metres. Can't go past the top weight Curran. 7 starts for 3 wins and 3 placings, 43% win rate, 86% place rate. So that ticks certainly one of our filters. Currently showing $3.80 on the tote. I got $4.60 last night. So obviously there are some other people who think that it's worth having $1 or $2 on. Ridden by the apprentice Matthew Cartwright, he's in career form. He's ridden 14% winners over his last 50. I feel like saying Leo Tolstoy, but it's actually Lynn Tolson. And
Lynn Tolson and
Leonie Proctor from Mornington, and we know how good Mornington trainers went on Monday.
yes, did you like that theory, Professor?
That was an excellent theory. 6 of 8 races, Gelding, by Mornington trainers.
Yes, Mornington trainers for Mornington races.
And those two are in career form, 10% win rate over the last 50. So I think Curran's a good bet. It's done nothing wrong. The Threats, a horse that surprised us recently, Snickerdoodle Dandy. It beat one of the tips that we had, and the other Threats, Pioneer River.
Yeah, Professor, can't go against that. Curran was one that I did have a look at and have marked out. You can't get any better form than what it's showing. I suppose good to see that they're running it on a soft track because it hasn't had any starts on the soft track before. But geez, 3 wins and 3 places out of 7 starts, Professor. One at Flemington was very impressive last start, showed a fantastic turn of foot. So, yeah, 1 on the track, 1 over the distance, or 1100 last time, I should say. So, but it has 1 over 1200. So, I think a very, very good bet there, Professor.
All right, and the Professor's parlay today, and we might not say the successful,
the very successful Professor's
parlay, because it's gone into a bit of a holding pattern at the moment. But our agreed bet of the day, Gelding, race 5, horse 9, Kurabai, currently showing $1.80 on the tote, and we'll team that into Brisbane to beat North Melbourne. Brisbane's form's been excellent. North Melbourne improving, but I still don't think good enough to beat Brisbane. They're currently showing $1.18. And that into the Canberra Raiders to beat the St George Illawarra Dragons. The Dragons let us down last week, Gelding.
Yes, Professor.
They lost 28-6 to the bottom of the table, Canterbury. Now, as a Canterbury supporter, I'm happy, but it was disappointing that the Dragons couldn't beat the bottom side. If they can't beat the bottom side, what chance are there to beat the improving Raiders? I don't think so. And the Raiders have won 4 of their last 5 games over the Dragons, so they've got their number.
I like it, Professor. And as we can tell our listeners, like there was a lot of discussions. Yes, we've gone Caribou as as our main race bet, but we did discuss Curran and Red Can Man, but you know, we had a bit of queries about both of them in the soft going, and that's the only difference. But Caribou, 4 out of 4. As you said, Brisbane in fine form. I'll take your word on the Raiders. I'm not a real rugby league form person. You know the form a lot better than me. But yeah, the parlays had some fun, Professor, the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, it has.
We've been getting the horse up and the Melbourne City letting us down. I've built a bridge over it, Professor, but I still remember it.
It sounds like it, Gelding. We've suffered last leg syndrome several times. Look, today's parlay currently showing 7-2, so good odds for punters.
Nice little bet, Professor. 7-2.
Now, there's another race meeting in Victoria today, Gelding, at Donald. 9 races. The track is soft 7. The rail only out 2 metres at Donald, with the first at 11.25. And Sports Fan Radio's own Craig Robertson has 7 rides out of 9 races. And
he's riding in good form for us, Professor.
He is riding in good form, and I think his 2 best bets for today for the punters is race 5, horse 3, Pantanera out of barrier 4, and race 6, horse 6, Rocket Owen out of barrier 12. And I've tipped Rocket Owen to the judge as a omen bet for him.
Right, Professor. Excuse me, Professor. Yeah, I think, look, that's Craig's riding in very, very good form, coming back from his shoulder injury. He's building up now to top strength. And look, with Craig, you get a very experienced, top-notch jockey, and he's riding in races, and his experience in some of these country meetings is just an invaluable. It's invaluable to put a thing on, Professor, and that's why he's getting horses up for third or second, when they should be finishing fourth and fifth. It's that ability of the jockey. Now you're getting into punting. You're starting to appreciate the value of the jockey compared to someone that may have a brain fade during the race and things like that. So, very important like that. And I think for our listeners to follow Craig is fantastic because you're getting that vast experience. He's putting them in places where they got a chance to do probably better than they should do in some cases.
Yeah, you mentioned the good day we had last Sunday, Gelding. One of our regular viewers, David from Mordialloc, took the Gelding's advice and had a very good day. Apparently.
He had a very good day. I got a little bit of feedback from David. It's good to see him back up and around, Professor, bringing that angst back, but with a bit of fun. So,
all right. Well, we mentioned Kuta, Sports Fan Radio again on tomorrow with all the usual suspects and plenty to talk about in sport, Gelding, especially the AFL Tribunal in hot water again.
Yes. Can we talk about Royal Ascot and Frankie Dettori? I've laid off Frankie Dettori, but he cost the horse a bit of history in the Gold Cup on Thursday night, Professor.
Well, I'm sure you'll
slaughtered it.
I'm sure you'll bring that up tomorrow, Gelding.
Slaughtered and odds on favourite, going for history. 4 wins in a row in the Royal Ascot, Professor, and he gets it buried in on the fence.
Did he apologise?
Oh no, but the interviews, no interviews.
All right, Gelding.
That's when you know they do a bad race because they like pumping up their tyres.
Okay, well, don't go early, Gelding. If you're going to talk about that tomorrow on Sports Fan Radio, you better save some of the ammunition for tomorrow. But until next Saturday, and that's racing, it's good luck
and good punting.